Leah was the woman no one chose, but her daughter would become the girl no one listened to. After Leah learned how to live without being chosen, after she stopped waiting for love to come from where she once hoped, she poured everything she had left into one child, a daughter. Her name was Dinah. Dinah was born into noise, laughter, shouting, the endless energy of 12 brothers: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. They loved her fiercely, carried her, defended her. To them, she was precious. But even as a child, Dinah understood something quietly. Being protected is not the same as being understood. She was closest to her mother. Leah didn't just raise her, she saw her. And in quiet moments, when the night softened everything, Leah would speak. Not like a mother teaching a child, but like a woman warning another. She spoke of what it meant to be overlooked, what it felt like to love and not be loved the same way. And Dinah listened, because she had already started noticing. She saw the way her father, Jacob, looked at Rachel, how his voice softened, how his attention lingered, and she saw the difference with her mother. Shorter, colder. Nothing loud, but clear. Love, in her home, was not equal. Still, she grew. She laughed with her brothers, walked beside them, but she also learned how to stay in the background, how to feel deeply without always saying too much. By the time she became a young woman, something inside her had begun to shift. Not rebellion, just curiosity. A quiet desire to see a world beyond the one she had always known. When they settled near Shechem, that curiosity finally had a direction. The city was alive. Music, color, voices, and the women. Women who laughed freely, who walked without lowering their eyes, who lived in ways she had never seen before. She watched them, and slowly, she wanted to be among them. So one morning, without telling anyone, she went to meet the women of the land, to sit with them, to see how they lived, to feel, even for a moment, like she belonged somewhere outside her family's shadow. She covered her head lightly, her heart beating with something between fear, excitement, and something close to freedom. And she walked into the city, just to see, just to feel something different, just to belong. Somewhere. The city welcomed her at first. Colors brushed past her, voices surrounded her. For the first time in her life, no one knew her. She wasn't the only daughter. She was just there. But the world she stepped into was not the world she imagined, because someone saw her. Not the way her mother did, not the way her brothers tried to protect her. And before she even understood what was happening, something had already been taken from her. She was seen by Shechem, the son of Hamor, the ruler of the land. He noticed her immediately. There was something about her, something different. He desired her, and after it happened, he asked to take her as his wife. When her brothers heard, everything changed. Simeon, Levi, their anger didn't shout, it settled, and quiet anger burns the deepest. What followed was not justice, it was destruction. An entire city fell, not because of war, but because of one girl's pain. Her name became a reason, a justification, a weapon. The man who wanted her, killed. The people, cut down. Everything, gone. Jacob heard what had happened, and instead of relief, there was fear. He saw danger ahead. Leah. She stayed close to her daughter, watching, silently, as Dinah tried to make sense of everything. And Dinah stood in the middle of it, not as a voice, not as a choice, just a reason. When the shouting stopped and the fires died down, Dinah stood in the silence that followed. Behind her was destruction. Before her, nothing. And inside her, questions. If I was worth this much anger, why was I never worth being heard? She had been protected, but never understood. Loved, but never seen. The years that followed were quiet, not peaceful, just quiet. Her brothers moved on, built families, became tribes. Her father grew older. History kept speaking, but not about Dinah. She faded, not because her life ended, but because no one told it. I imagine her years later, quieter now, but stronger, helping her mother in the last days of her life, learning how to heal, not harm, how to sit with pain without letting it turn into fire. When Leah died, Dinah was the one who stayed, the one who held her hand, the one who whispered softly, "You were seen, Mama, even when the world refused to see you." And in that moment, Dinah understood everything her mother had tried to teach her. Life does not always give you the voice you deserve, but it gives you a choice of who you become after the silence. And somewhere along the way, Dinah changed. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. Some say she never married. Some say she left quietly one night, choosing a life away from memory. But I imagine something else. I imagine a woman who stayed, but became different. A woman other women came to, not because of her pain, but because of her understanding. A woman who listened when others were ignored, who stayed when others walked away. A woman who gave others the voice she never had. Leah's story was about being unseen. Dinah's story is about what comes after that. What grows out of silence, what survives after pain. She was not the loudest. She was not the most remembered. But she became something greater than both. A witness. A quiet reminder that even the stories no one tells still matter. They fought for her. They avenged her. But no one ever asked her what she wanted. And maybe that's why her story was never told. Until now. Dinah, the girl they almost erased, but could never silence.